What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and enjoying life today. In today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the 2025 Chevy Silverado 2500 High Country. Huge thank you to Bakary Darbo over here at Koons, Tysons, Chevy GMC for allowing me to do this video for you guys today. If you are interested in this particular Silverado 2500 or any GM product with the exception of Buick and Cadillac, then I'll be sure to have Bakary's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. It is a beautiful 77-degree, low humidity, no wind day outside here today, which makes for nearly perfect filming conditions. So just like usual, first I'm going to talk about the exterior and the performance. So like I said, this is a 2025 Chevy Silverado 2500 High Country, and this particular one's been painted in black. I wanted to preface this video by saying for 2025, adaptive cruise control is now standard on the High Country. A couple other things have changed to some of the other 2500 models, however, none of which pertain to the High Country, hence why I did not mention any of the other changes. So if you guys want to know other changes to the other 2500 models, go watch another review. But this particular one being the High Country, as standard, you get animated LED projector headlights with IntelliBeam, as well as LED daytime running lights, LED turn signals, and LED fog lights. Taking a few steps to the left, absolutely massive design here with the 2020 and up Silverado 2500s and 3500s. At the center there, you get the functional hood intake with the chrome accent. I did want to put a little asterisk here. This one has been optioned with the Duramax diesel, so I do know for a fact that the hood intake is functional. I'm not sure if the hood intake is functional on the standard 6.6 liter gas engine that you get if you did not option for the Duramax. I just wanted to put that front and center there for everybody to know. Not sure if it is functional with the 6.6 liter gas. Coming down, again, massive design, so you get that huge satin chrome grille there at the center. This one's been optioned with the $175 black bow tie emblem located at the center. You can see just beneath your bow tie, you get a forward-facing camera with the camera washer, by the way. And that is because the High Country comes standard with a 360-degree view camera system. Speaking of safety features, also standard, you get 4 forward-facing sensors located here on your body color front bumper. At the center there of your bumper, you get the satin chrome accenting with that valance down there. You also get those 2 chrome frame mounted recovery hooks. So if you get stuck in a ditch, you can attach that and not have to worry about pulling your bumper off. I have seen that happen, not on a truck, but on a regular vehicle, and it was a rear bumper on a Mercedes. Funny. Anyways, not funny for the person who had to pay for it. Last but not least, I wanted to mention 10.2 inches of ground clearance here with the High Country, so you can pretty much go over anything you need to go over. I don't think any of you guys are really going to be off-roading this, maybe in some mud, maybe over some gravel and stuff like that, but it is a relatively capable truck. If you want a off-road 2500, take a look at a Power Wagon or a ZR2 or a Tremor F250. Also, located here on the driver's side at the bottom of the bumper on the side, you get your engine block heater. You plug in there if you have, negative 10 degrees outside. That's going to keep the block warm. It's going to be easier for the diesel to start. If you did not know, GM, it has been a long time, I don't know since when exactly, but they do an independent front suspension with torsion bars. So if you look at the Cummins, or not the Cummins, but like the Rams, you look at the Fords, they have a solid front axle. This has an independent front suspension. I noticed that with the independent front suspension, it seems like it steers a little bit better and rides a touch better as well. Again, that's just my personal opinion. But coming on down the side, this one has been spec'd with the standard 20-inch 8-spoke polished wheels that are wrapped in 275/65 Goodyear Wrangler Trail Runner all-terrain tires. If you're not a fan of the way that these wheels look, there are, I think, like 6 or 7 different wheel options to choose from, ranging from chrome, polished, to satin black, gloss black, etc. And then also, I'm going to throw the price of the tire on screen right now, and I'll also show you a little bit of what the tire tread looks like as well. You get the chrome badging here on the side when optioning for the nearly $10,000 Duramax diesel. You get the Duramax badging, and then with the High Country, you get the chrome High Country fender badging. Rain sensing wipers come standard on this rig, and coming on down the side, you get satin black side view mirrors with the chrome mirror caps. You get integrated turn signals, and as standard, these side view mirrors are power folding, power extending, Both side view mirrors are auto dimming. You get memory functions. You have your blind spot monitoring functions on the upper left and upper right hand side of both of these side view mirrors. You get spotlights both here and on the other side. You get puddle lights as well. And then you get a camera at the bottom of both of your side view mirrors, and those cameras work with your standard 360-degree view camera system. One thing that this 2500 has not been optioned with are the cab lights. This thing should definitely have cab lights. I think they are a nearly $100 option, maybe 75 bucks. Body color antenna, satin black and satin chrome window trim. You get chrome door handles with keyless access, though the keyless access function only on the front two door handles. You also get the 2500 HD satin chrome body side moldings at the bottom of both or all of your passenger doors, and then you also get the chrome assist steps. I would like to see power running boards on this, but that is what you get as standard. Now, one controversial thing with the 2020 and up Silverado 25 and 3500s are the bedside steps. Yes, they are very useful. However, they almost take away from the design a little bit. It does not look as clean. However, again, very, very useful. And then over here, again, with the Duramax, you get the diesel. And unfortunately, that does include DEF. If you do want to do some weight reduction, hit a bump and blame the weight reduction on that bump that you hit. Up top there, you can see you get your third brake light. You get those two cameras for the bed view camera that you get standard, and then also with the technology package, which is a $1,340 option. You get that camera for your rear view camera mirror on the interior, and then you get a power sliding rear window as standard. Here is a rear 3/4 shot of this thing. You get multi-leaf springs back here, LED taillights. You get the Chevrolet stamped into the tailgate. Chrome badging back here. You get a power up and down tailgate. You can press on the interior, you can press on the key fob. However, when you press the button on the key fob, it only drops the tailgate. For some reason, you can't raise the tailgate with the key fob buttons. I don't quite understand why that is, but that is how it is. And then this one has been optioned with the $545 fifth wheel / gooseneck prep package. You get a 120 volt household outlet back here. Also included with that fifth wheel prep package, you get a 4 and 7 pin connector on the passenger side of the box area. This one has the standard bed. I do believe it is like, what, 6 foot 7 inches or something like that. With the crew cab, you can also option an 8-foot bed as well. You get a body color rear bumper back here with the corner steps on the outsides, and then you also get 4 integrated parking sensors as well. Over here, I believe these are for your camera provisions. If you put a camera on the back of your, race trailer or something like that, you get a 7-pin bumper pull connector there. You have your trailer hitch. Up underneath there, you get a spare tire and a couple mechanical bits and features you may want to know is that you do get an auto-locking rear differential with this thing. You also get a 2-speed transfer case as well as a 3/42 rear axle ratio. And what everybody wants to know, I'm assuming with this being a 2500 model, is how much can this tow and what is the max payload capacity. So the max tow capacity of this particular high country is 18,500 pounds, which is fantastic for a 2500, and you get a max payload capacity of 3,003 pounds. So you can nearly put anything you want in the bed, and you can nearly tow anything you want behind the truck as well. I do believe over a certain amount of weight, you do have to get a CDL, wink, wink, nod, nod, legally. That's kind of about it for the exterior of this thing. Let me know what you guys think of the looks of the high country. I personally did not like the 20 to 2023. I think the 24 and up with the revisions that they did up here at the front and in the rear and also on the interior look fantastic. You guys can let me know your opinions on that in the comments down below. But with that stuff out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals the optional $9,490 6.6 liter Duramax diesel V8 that produces 470 horsepower and 975 pound-feet of torque. It's mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in roughly 6.5 seconds. And from what I saw on the internet, people who actually own these things, they don't do EPA ratings, but from what I saw, it'll do about 14 to 17 miles per gallon on average. That is just what I was reading on the internet. You guys can let me know if you actually own one of these. You can let me, as well as other prospective purchasers, know what you are seeing fuel economy wise. Not necessarily ripping it, but driving it normally. You guys let us know in the comments down below. But if you're enjoying the video so far today, please guys take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Those three things look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm. That is what helps me grow. That is what helps me achieve my dreams. Also, I post 1-minute reviews, which you guys, if you want to, can check out of this vehicle. So if you don't want to watch a 30-minute review, check out that 1-minute review. I also do some personal car content on my Instagram and TikTok at 703speed. I got a C6 Z06, a cammed Camaro, Volkswagen Carmen Ghia, and I'm in the process of LS swapping an F-150. So if you're a GM guy, follow along with me. I'm a big GM guy, so I'd appreciate it if you guys do that. But with that stuff out of the way, let's take a look at the interior. Moving on into the interior, the audio may sound a bit different, and that is because I just switched back to the GoPro's microphone so you guys get a better sound of what the remote start system sounds like. As I mentioned earlier, keyless access is standard, so all you have to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle. There is a button both on the driver and the front passenger door. You press that to either lock or unlock the vehicle, depending on if it's locked or unlocked. This is what the key fob looks like, satin black with some chrome accenting and going over the functions on it. Starting from the top, you have your lock function, your unlock function, remote start function, your tailgate drop function, and your panic function. If you wanted to remote start this, all you have to do is press this button twice and she will fire right up. And that is what the Duramax sounds like being fired up from the exterior's perspective. Now let's see what the interior of the High Country has to offer, shall we? The audio is going to sound a little bit different. Again, I went back to my wireless microphone, but this is what the interior of the High Country looks like. This one's been spec'd with the jet black leather upholstery. However, there are two other interior color options to choose from. There is a brown, and then there's also a blue. So something to just keep in mind if you are going to spec one of these out yourself. You get some wood trim, 2 memory settings, you're unlocking your lock functions, power side view mirror controls. That is to extend the mirrors out. I think they go out like 3.31 inches or something. That is to power fold in or out the side view mirrors. Automatic up and down windows in the front. You only get automatic down windows in the back. Padded armrest, brown accent colored stitching, tons of storage space at the bottom of the door panel. And then with the High Country as standard, you get a 7-speaker Bose sound system with the rich bass subwoofer. High Country door sill, power adjustable front seats, and obviously this being the top trim with the 2500, they are heated and ventilated as standard. And I also really like how the headrests have the High Country stitched into them. That's just a very nice touch. And then also you can see a little bit of the brown. I'm not sure if the camera's going to pick it up, but there's a little bit of brown in the perforation of the leather. It looks fantastic. I'm going to step into the interior. I'm going to turn this down just a bit so we get better audio. But basically what I'm going to do is walk you throughout the entire interior the best that I can, and we're going to start over here. So driver gets a grab handle as well as an HVAC vent. As mentioned earlier, this one has been optioned with the $1,340 technology package, so you do get a head-up display system. So this is to bring the head-up display system up or down. That is to adjust the information on the head-up display. So right now, the head-up display is displaying the digital speedometer readout. I click that info button. Now it is the driver assistance stuff. It's a compass. Now it is pitch, roll, as well as I believe the transfer case status stuff, and then it goes back into the regular screen. This is to brighten and or dim the gauge or the head-up display. You have an electronic parking brake, a 2-speed transfer case, 2 high, 4 low, and 4 high. You get 4-wheel drive automatic. You have a few different drive modes to choose from. So if you click to the left, you have your normal mode. You click to the right, you have your off-road mode. And if you click right there, that is your tow haul button. I'm going to leave it in normal mode for right now. I believe this should be for the spotlights on the sides of the mirrors. I could not get it to work, but anyways, I do know that this is to turn your cargo lights on or off. These are to brighten and or dim your gauge cluster as well as your backlit buttons. Headlight control stock there. You get a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. All you got to do is flip that down, and you can pull the steering wheel out towards you, push it away from you, and it moves up and down. Take a listen to the turn signal. That is what the turn signal sounds like here on the High Country. Not only is it your turn signal control stock, it's your high beam control stock, and it is also your windshield wiper control stock. Zoom in back out, you get a leather wrapped steering wheel, and it is heated as standard, 1 level of adjustability, and just like any other vehicle, you have your horn at the center. Take a listen. That is what the horn sounds like here on the High Country. I'm not sure how well the microphone picked it up. First thing I wanted to point out, on the back side of the left-hand side of the steering wheel, those are your tuning controls. On the back side of the right-hand side of the steering wheel, these are your volume controls. As I mentioned, for 2025, you now get adaptive cruise control as standard on the high country, and here are your adaptive cruise control settings. I did not see an option online to get Super Cruise here with the high country 2500, but I do know for a fact you can get Super Cruise on the 2500 Sierra Denali Ultimate. I'm not sure if the Denali comes with it. I do know the Denali Ultimate comes with it. And then you have this to speak to the vehicle, and then that is to hang up on a phone call. And then over here you have these controls. So scroll up and down, that is to control that digital gauge cluster. Same with those two buttons there. So as standard with this thing, you get a 12.3 inch digital gauge cluster. This is one of the display layouts. You get your tachometer over here with your drive status stuff. That is your digital speedometer readout, speedometer, compass. You have your coolant temperature, you have your fuel range, fuel gauge, and then you have the battery voltage, oil stuff. You can adjust what you see on this screen. So you can go drive down, you get your drive summary, trip 1, trip 2, all of these different things you can go throughout by scrolling. And if you wanted to go all the way and adjust the settings, you can adjust the display layout. So this is progressive is what we were just in. There are a few other modes like classic, then there's digital, and then there is also clean as well. And I do know for a fact you can adjust what you see down here. It's like, I think it's like low, medium, and high, or something like that. So you can go into lower gauge info. Yeah, like max, medium, minimum. So you can see, you can adjust what you see down there. So very easy to use, guys. Not really much besides, you know, fiddling with this for about 10 minutes and you'll learn exactly what you got to do. Column shifters for the win. I love a good column shifter. It seems like a lot of trucks nowadays are going to a push button transmission, which is ridiculous, or like one of the things you'd find in an SUV. I love myself a column shifter. If you guys are watching this part of the video right now, comment column shifter. Love a good column shifter. And up top here, you get a spot you can set some pens, some pencils, a tape measure, stuff like that. You get a little bit of storage space. They're thinking of you guys who are in the blue collar trades, which is definitely very nice for anybody who just likes storage space. So also, you get a Google-based 13.4 inch infotainment system with built-in Google Maps and wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto as standard. On this side of the screen, you have your different shortcuts into Google Assistant. You have your trailering stuff, phone stuff. One thing that is interesting about the phone screen, like right here, if I put my phone in the wireless charging pad that you get standard with this, you get a green lightning bolt right there signifying that the phone is charging. You have your Google Maps stuff over there, you can see. Then you have your audio stuff. Swipe up one more, you have your trailer status stuff, and then last but not least, you get a clock. This is what your screen looks like. You can pop up your 360 camera system if you wanted to. You have a few different camera views to choose from. So if you're backing up to a trailer, it just makes it nice and easy to do that kind of stuff with all those different camera views. And then swiping over here, you can pull up your climate control stuff here on the screen. I do like how they do give you the option of the physical climate controls down there. You have your different settings, My Chevrolet, set service appointments, podcasts, Google News. I do believe, does it not have the Google Play Store? Yeah, it has the Google Play Store, so if you wanted to, you could download Waze directly to your screen here, because supposedly GM is going to be doing away with CarPlay and wireless Android Auto, which I think is a mistake, guys. GM, I do believe, watches these videos, so if you guys like Apple CarPlay, you guys like Android Auto, you guys need to comment in the comments down below. Keep Apple CarPlay, keep Android Auto, guys. Let's spam GM with that kind of stuff, because getting rid of that, in my opinion, would be a huge mistake. And if you think like I do, let me know below. With these new screens and all these new vehicles, you're gonna get fingerprints all over this kind of stuff. It's not gonna look great. There's a product I'm throwing on screen right now. It's called ONR. You buy that, you buy some microfibers, and you buy a Zep bottle. You put a cap full of that in the Zep bottle, and you mix it up. Basically, you spray it on the microfiber, you wipe down this screen, you wipe down that screen, and then you just dry it right off, and it's gonna look brand new every time. So if you're tired of bringing your car to a car wash to keep it looking clean on the interior, highly recommend ONR. And not only can you use it on your screens, you can use it on your glass when you get that haze on the glass. You can use it on your mirrors, you can use it on your leather, and you can even wash your car with it. Highly recommend that product. I am an ex-detailer. That is what we used to use on the job, so just letting you in a little bit on the trade secrets. So if you guys want to check that out, stop bringing your car to the car wash, link in bio. Highly recommend it. Then you got your physical controls down here. Home button for the infotainment system, volume control knob, exhaust brake. That is with the diesel. You don't get that with the standard 6.6 gas. Lane keeping system, parking sensors. That is to open and or close your tailgate. You get your hazard button, traction control button, and then that is to roll all the windows down. However, it does not roll all the windows back up. And then you get a blank button. Integrated trailer brake controller. Obviously, this is a 2500. heated and ventilated seats. One thing that is interesting about the heated seats in a GM product is you can say whether you want just your back to be heated or if you want your back and your butt to be heated. You get 3 levels of adjustability with all of that stuff. Dual zone automatic climate control. You can see your climate control stuff there. You get a USB-A port, a USB-C port. Tons of storage space down there. Those are some Ray-Ban sunglasses to show you kind of size reference of all that storage space there. Then you get 2 cup holders. As I mentioned, wireless charging pad. iPhone 14 does fit in there, and that is a Pro Max. Get the High Country badging here to let you signify that this is a top end trim level. Little divider down in here. Not as much storage space as you would expect down in here, but this one does seem to have a safe. So if you guys are, Pew Pew owners, you can lock your down in there. I'm not going to say it. I don't want to get demonetized, but you know what exactly what I'm talking about. But anyways, it would go much deeper if that safe was not down in there. Over here, you get a power outlet, USB-A port, USB-C port, decent amount of storage space down in there, and much more if that was not down in there. Some storage space here, storage space there. You get some wood grain trim for your upper glove box. Press that button, upper glove box opens up. You also get a lockable lower glove box, which a decent amount of storage space in it. Actually, considering there's an upper glove box, good amount of storage space there. This is what the passenger side looks like. As mentioned, with the technology package, you get the rear view camera mirror. If you're not a fan of the rear view camera mirror, but you want a head-up display, you can flip that forward, and then the mirror will just behave like a regular auto-dimming rear view mirror would. However, I personally like the digital rear view mirror. I do find that it rids me of my blind spots, and you get some adjustability with it. So if you click this button right here, you can brighten it, you can dim it, you can click this, you can zoom in, you can zoom out, and then you can also move down, you can move up, down. So good amount of adjustability there. I find, again, that it rids me of my blind spots. Up top here, you have your OnStar stuff, passenger airbag stuff. Your lights up here are LED. This is whether you want the lights to turn on or not when you open up the doors. This is your instant dome light on button. This particular one has been optioned with the $995 power sunroof. So you can slide it, you can tilt it. This is for your standard sliding rear view, or excuse me, your standard sliding rear glass. Universal garage door opener. Opening this up, you get a vanity mirror, 2 vanity lights, and then this does slide in and out for when the sun is in those awkward positions. You also get microphones both here and there for the Bluetooth audio system. This is what the sunroof looks like. It is not a dual pane sunroof, but that is not really that much of an issue. These seats are actually pretty comfortable. I find, in my opinion, that I think Ford seats are the most comfortable 2,500, 3,500, 1,500 seats. However, these seats seem to have gotten better over the last couple of years. They seem to have just more cushion to them, more comfortable. Just, again, my personal opinion. And now I'm going to throw the entire window sticker on screen. You guys can take a look at everything that this has been optioned with, everything that you get as standard, but I'm just going to highlight the MSRP. So the MSRP of the way that this particular 2025 Silverado 25 High Country is spec'd is $87,935. Oh my Lanta, that is a lot of money. But everything, I mean, go look at a Ford, go look at a GMC, go look at a Ram. Everything is super expensive, so I mean, it's really right on par with the competitors. Honestly, looking at this, looking at a GMC, they're the exact same truck. But don't tell anybody I said that. It's more of an exterior look change, and then also Super Cruise and stuff like that. And the Denali Ultimate. I mean, come on, guys. The Denali Ultimate, you get that sick interior. But I do want to show you what we got going on in the rear seats before moving into the driving portion of the video. The one thing I really like about the High Country is how you can spec it with the brown leather. I personally really like the brown leather, and if I was going to get a High Country, I would 1000% option it with the brown leather. I'm a big brown leather guy. Automatic down windows back here. Door panel is absolutely freaking huge, by the way. Window goes all the way down. Storage space, you get your what's that thing called, speaker surround there. One thing that is interesting, in like a Ram, you would have your Ram boxes, which would be located up underneath here. You get a little bit of storage space. However, you get these Chevy boxes behind these seats in the second row. Good amount of leg room, as you may be able to tell. I'll show you that in a minute. You get your fold down armrest with 2 cup holders, and then seat back pockets behind both these seats, cup holders, heated outboard second row seats, 3 levels of adjustability with both. You also get some HVAC vents, USB-A port, USB-C port, grab handle, dry cleaning hook there, dry cleaning hook there. You get some lights. I'm 5'9", adjusted behind myself, as you can tell. Tons and tons of leg and knee room, tons and tons of headroom. I mean, I'm just an average guy. If you're 6'3", sitting behind somebody who's 6'3", you'd still be comfortable in these seats. But that's kind of about it for what we got going on here in the interior of this thing. So, you know, we talked about the exterior, we talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I will see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, now on to the driving portion of the video. Take a listen. The Duramax is so powerful. It's really a blast to drive. It feels very, like, I have driven more Power Strokes than I have Duramaxes. And for some reason, my favorite generation of the Duramax, and if I was gonna buy one, which I will in a little bit of time, maybe a year or so, I really do want, I have a 2500 gasser right now. It's a 2007 Silverado 2500 with the 6-liter gas engine, and it has 294,000 miles on it. It does have a new transmission in it, which is why I bought it. But I mean, dude, it runs like a rock. It's solid as a rock. It really is, like that one commercial back in the day. It is solid as a rock, and that really makes me like want a Duramax. And my favorite years of the Duramaxes, in my opinion, are the 17 to 19s with the L5P, but the old body style. I love those 6-speed. The 10-speed in this is awesome though. And the reason I get one of those is just because, well, frankly, I cannot afford a $90,000 pickup truck, but at least where I live around here, these things are a dime a dozen. They're literally everywhere. So a lot of people can't afford these. It's just I'm not one of them. But for 90 grand, this thing drives fantastic. It really does. Here, I mean, you just barely put your foot in the throttle and it just accelerates. And I like listening to the turbo spool up. I mean, that is just one of the, obviously one of the huge things to the diesel. If you're like a car enthusiast, you're a vehicle enthusiast, I guess I should say, is just listening to that turbo spool up. And you know, if you did a little weight reduction, get a little bit more sound, then that's really what I would want to do anyway. I would totally do it, but I definitely would not do that. If anybody's asking, I would not do that. But we'll do a little acceleration here. Nothing crazy. I can hear how she just wants to open up and just scream. I don't know if you guys have ever heard a deleted Duramax, but they sound amazing. They really sound amazing. And this thing's got a red line of 4,500 RPM. I think my friend, he's got a Cummins high output. I think his red line is 3,000 RPM, so it's not very high. So yeah, 4,500 RPM. We'll kind of take a listen to that now. Do a little acceleration right here. See what all that sounds like, right? So here we go. The 10-speed keeps it dialed in. Like, it literally just, it keeps it in the power band. And guys, this thing weighs probably around that guy is hauling. This thing probably weighs 8,000 plus pounds, I would imagine. And it's quick. It is quick. Is it fast? No, but it's got that quick, just like oomph behind it. When you first get on it, you just feel all that torque. It's not a fast thing, guys. Like, you know, torque is down low, so you feel it's like the it's like grunt. It's not so much the pull, you know. And it's definitely got that. Like, this thing's got enough power. I'd be so happy daily driving this thing. I mean, especially with the 10-speed, it just finds the gear it wants to be in, and then it just keeps boom, boom, putting power band, power band, power band, power band. And that's what's good about the 10-speed versus the 6-speed. I think maybe the 6-speed in like the years that I was talking about may be more reliable. I don't know. Because I do see people talking great about the 10-speed, and then I see people talking not so great about the 10-speed. But that's just what, really, you can say that about any car. Like, I got a C6 Z06, it's a Corvette. Everybody 50-50, like LS7's the worst engine ever made, LS7's the best engine ever made. It's like, that's what it's like about everything. You know what I mean? Everything, like, there's half the people hating it, half the people liking it. I mean, look at politics, right? Half people like it, half people hate it. It's just life. So with the 10-speed, from my experience after driving it today, obviously I don't have all that much time behind the wheel of it, I'm actually a fan of it. I think it drives very well. I haven't like felt any like clunky shifts yet, but I have felt clunky shifts in like the 1500s and stuff, so I don't know if maybe this one's a little bit more dialed in. But I did notice for like the 2025 Tahoes, 2025 Silverado 1500s, the 10 speeds in those have been ironed out, like they shift much better. So I don't know if GM did anything, but this thing's solid. I just like how the 10 speeds like shift. It's just really just keeps it in that power band. So guys, awesome truck. If you have $90,000, you have the money to spend on this thing, it is awesome. I mean, I think it looks great. Like, I think what they did in 2024 with the revisions on the outside and obviously here on the inside, huge difference. I would definitely buy one of these. And if I was in the position now in 2025 to buy a $100,000 pickup truck, what would I buy? Well, I don't know, because this is $87,000. I don't know how much a Denali Ultimate costs. Obviously, like in a perfect world, if money didn't matter, I'd get a Denali Ultimate. But if I was like really kind of pushing it at 90, I'd be so happy with the High Country with the brown interior. I mean, the brown interior makes this a Denali Ultimate to me. You know, I don't really need anything else. The sound system in this is good enough. I mean, it's great. The Denali Ultimates is obviously going to be better, but obviously you're going to spend more money for that as well. I think it's a great truck. Duramax is awesome. I love the way that it pulls. It drives great. That is one thing that is nice about this being a 2500 Chevrolet, is that it has the independent front suspension. It drives so well. The solid front axles, guys, in my opinion, they're a little bit rougher. Yeah, they might be a little bit more capable. Yeah, they might not. Maybe these break because they're not quite as strong as the solid front axle. I'm not going to be doing anything where I think I'm going to break the front axle or the front suspension in this. I'm not pulling anything super crazy over 5, 7, 8,000 pounds. So I love this truck, guys. If you are a High Country fan, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know, is brown leather the way to go with the High Country? Let me know. That is my opinion. I think I would definitely have to do brown no matter what. But that's it for today's video. If you guys did enjoy the video, please take a second to like, comment, and subscribe. Those 3 things look very good for my channel in the YouTube algorithm. That is what helps me grow. That is what helps me film these reviews. And I just would appreciate it if you guys would support my dreams. Like, this is where that Duramax is just, I feel all that torque just wanting to just go right now on those accelerations, guys. But yeah, follow me on those 3 social media platforms. I have my own personal vehicles, cammed Camaro, C6 Z06, LS swapped F-150, all that kind of good stuff. So if you're a car enthusiast, truck enthusiast, you like that kind of stuff, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, TikTok at 703speed. I'd appreciate it. But again, guys, that is it for today's video. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace.